So yes, Big Ben strikes again. The news has broke that he's an innocent man, according to the NADP, for the second time, by the way. Yes, no wrongdoing was the phrase they've used, and that means onwards and upwards with his boxing career. Yeah, well, I have a few questions, as do many of you, I'd imagine, so we'll start with this one. Why the bloody hell would Team Ben put out this statement knowing full well the board and UKAD are not both fully in agreement with this decision? By the sounds of it, they both had no idea this was even coming. I mean, we've been here before, bruv. This is why you got another load of backlash, Benny boy. Surely you must know that. And when you dig deep into who the NADP are, I can't lie, it does raise some red flags. I mean, this is a panel of lawyers who have also cleared cricketer Laurie Evans after he failed a drug test. They lifted his suspension, even though he wasn't absolved of the charges. Then they also cleared Mark Dry, who's a Commonwealth hammer thrower. He was meant to appear for a drug test, but he missed it, and he said it was because he'd gone fucking fishing. Brilliant. He lied, by the way. He wasn't fishing. UKAD appealed the NADP with that one, and in the end, he did get a ban. And not to mention old Tyson Fury. They lifted his suspension and gave him clearance to take the Klitschko rematch, whilst knowing he'd failed a test for Nandrolone. Plus, on top of all this, it's difficult to put your full faith in the NADP when the president is Kate Gallifant, a lawyer who's been representing the post office in the Horizon scandal. If you don't know about the Horizon scandal, give it a Google and try to imagine what sort of person you'd have to be to represent the post office after they fucked over all their employees. Anyway, listen, just like all you lot, I am bored fucking stiff of this situation. We all want to just move on now. I love seeing him fight. I can't wait to see him back in the ring, and give me the Eubank fight. I'm keen as mustard for it. But there needs to be some justice. I mean, it's got to be done right. Is it really fair to say, oh come on, let's just move on now, it's old news, nobody fucking cares anymore? Is it fair to say that when you got someone like Liam Cameron, whose whole life was ruined by having to serve a 4-year ban for a little bit of Colombian booster, a drug that is a non-performance enhancing substance, and yet Conor seemingly gets no official ban for failing 2 tests involving a substance that is considered performance enhancing? Now, I know he's had a turmoil couple of years, so you could say that's a punishment in itself, but technically he's never received any repercussions for all this. I mean, old Benny boy may be completely innocent. He may just be the unluckiest fucker in the world, and I hope that simply is the case. But at the end of the day, these substances showed up in a VADA test twice. So whether it's his fault or not, you can't have one rule for one and one rule for someone else. Do you know what I mean? I think we'd all accept a backdated 2-year ban now based on strict liability, even though that's still a massive disservice to the likes of Liam. But for there to be nothing, I'm sorry, Conor, but it's just not going to sit right with boxing fans. Strict liability, people, this is the only way forward in this sport, bruv. And I know this is infuriating to hear, Conor, but unfortunately for you, boxing fans are never ever going to believe someone who fails a test is guilty until proven innocent. I'm not calling you a liar, but ultimately there are so many fucking liars about, ain't there? Liars in the camp, you know. Don't get me wrong, all of us are liars. I'm a liar. My missus cooked me dinner last night and it tasted like shit. Then she said, "You enjoying that, babe?" I said, "Yeah, it's fucking lovely, babe. You'd put Delia Smith out of a fucking job, you would." So we're all liars. But the point is, too many fighters have tried bullshitting us bullshitters. Look at Big Baby Miller, bloody hell. He said all this stuff in his system come from a stem cell shot and a sex pill. What a load of bollocks. And then you got Amir Khan. I'm also not saying he's a liar or he's 100% guilty. Obviously, we don't know for a fact. But he failed a test at the end of the day, and his story is so upside fucking down, he don't know his arsehole from his earlobe. He said last year there was a severe lack of testing.
And I was the one who, I'd seen a video, an old one, and someone posted it saying that I was the one who was questioning why UKAD's not testing us more, because I was waiting for and I remember making that video saying that I'm not being tested yet, and I don't know why UKAD are not testing me.
There we are, and now 1 year on, recently in the Stomping Ground podcast, he all of a sudden said he was being tested loads.
What happened was I was getting tested about 2-3 times a week.
Right, so what is it then? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, back to Conor. So let's see what the old NADP are saying then. Well, after clearing him once before, even though the board and UKAD were having none of it, they've had another hearing and concluded he is in fact an innocent man. Alright then, now let's just dissect what UKAD had to say in their statement on it, okay, blah blah blah. Yes, now this bit's interesting. This is basically the smoking gun right here. The panel concluded that it was not comfortably satisfied that UKAD had proved that Mr. Benn had committed an anti-doping violation for the use of clomiphene. Right. He did fail 2 VADA tests, if you remember. How much more satisfied do you fucking need to be? OK, fair enough, NADP. If that's the case, then forget UKAD for a minute. What you're really saying is VADA and their testing are completely incompetent. Their testing is unsatisfactory and their results are of no use whatsoever. In fact, we might as well fuck them off altogether then. Yes, let's do that. No more VADA testing, everyone. Let's let every boxer shovel performance-enhancing shit up their bumhole, pop pills like a crackhead in a chemist, because clearly VADA, which has been called the gold standard of drug testing by Hearn, ain't quite cutting it.
What is the point in signing up for drug testing if when you fail, everyone just goes, oh, don't worry about it, just let him fight? Sign drug testing with VADA, the best testing agency, in my opinion, in the sport. Was he cheating? Was he unlucky? Either way, his reputation is tarnished forever. Because it doesn't matter. You fail a drugs test, you fail a drugs test.
OK, and by the way, NADP, what you're also saying is UKAD have cost Conor 2 years of his career, wrongfully suspending him and all that. This means Conor can sue for a serious amount of money, can't he? I mean, he lost a few million for the Eubank fight for a start. He must be due a multi-million-pound payout, no? Well, I can't see how UKAD are going to swallow that one, because that could leave them well out of pocket. Now, in the small print, there's something very important said here by UKAD, and that is that they cannot disclose the full reason the NADP came to their decision without the consent of Mr. Conor Benn. So, Conor, I'll say this with love, but come on, bruv. Give them the consent. You owe it to us fans to show the conclusive evidence that completely exonerates you of any wrongdoing. And once you do, everything goes away, doesn't it? Fan-fucking-tastic. Every single doubter, every single accuser will apologise and hold their hands up. They'll say, you were right all along. Congratulations, Benny boy, I've got egg on my face. No pun intended. However, if you don't, I'm sorry to say it, but expect to never ever get rid of the cheater label for the rest of your career. And please bear in mind, we all want you to be innocent, bruv. We want you to prove the doubters wrong, and we want to see you back properly, because you're brilliant for the sport. But you got to realise it's hard for the fans to get behind you, when to this day, you've still got us all so confused. Let me put it like this. If I was accused of cheating, when I categorically knew I had not, I wouldn't look for any old way to get out of a ban so I could fight again. I'd want to prove my innocence by showing the world the exact reason I did nothing wrong, because I'd want to win back the public's trust. So I wouldn't have Maurizio Salami, the most corrupt man in boxing, put out a bollocky statement about eggs based on no research and accept his notion that I'm cleared. Neither would I try to get UKAD on a technicality that they didn't have jurisdiction and accept that as clearance either, because I know that the public are too smart to let all this slide. And after all this time, we're still waiting to see this 270-page document that apparently proves you did nothing wrong. I mean, where the fucking hell has that gone? Show it to us, bruv. Then what about that donut on TalkSport? What was the point of him? He said this.
We're putting your ain't in the spot. What have you got?
Evidence, proof. Everything we've done has been evidence-based. So I think for the first time, we've got data, we've got analysis, we've looked specifically at what was inside Conor. We've examined that, and we believe we've got the evidence that proves that he never took a banned substance. What we can prove is contamination, yes. Structured drug testing, no.
Right, terrific. Well, once again, do you mind if we see it? Is that okay? It's not asking much, is it? I mean, the whole way along, all Conor's really done is go, right, I've got the evidence to prove I'm innocent. All right, smashing. Let's see it then. Well, no, you know, I'll keep it to myself, but just so you know, I have got it. Right, so you're not going to show it to us then? No, I'm not going to show it to you, but you just need to be fully aware that I've got it. Do you know what I mean? You know, you've been proved innocent by the NADP now, Conor, so what's there to hide, bruv? Spill the beans and just give UKAD the consent. Let us see why you were innocent all along, and we'll be all on board. Now, since that hasn't happened yet, we're still all on speculation at the minute as to why he's been cleared, but there must be some angle that they're edging towards, and I reckon it must be in regards to the testing process. Because when he was on TalkSport, old doctor did fuck all, alluded to it here.
What we can prove is contamination, yes. Structured drug testing, no.
Yes, and then Sam Jones said something along the same lines just the other day.
From what I'm hearing, and I'm not going to go to too big a depth. From what I'm hearing is they may have not even ever been a failed drugs test.
There we are. There may not have ever been a failed test. Well, I love Sam, but I am really struggling with this one. For a start, there was 2 failed tests, taken a period of time apart, meaning both tests would have had to have never happened. That seems pretty far-fetched. And are we saying that there was never a failed test, meaning he actually passed the VADA test? Because if that's the case, why would VADA lie about it? How would that benefit them in any way? Yes, it's quite hard for us boxing fans to get our heads around that statement, but I will admit I am double intrigued to hear more about it. Not that we ever will though, because as we've seen, any evidence they've got never fucking surfaces. Anyway, that'll do. As I say, I hope you're innocent, Conor, but the faith will never be restored until you show us why you are. Bon voyage for now.